Welcome back, y'all. If you're watching this video, you're probably interested in this guy right here. This is the DNT Optics Zulus. This is the HD520, meaning it's a 5 to 20 times zoom. There's also the HD312, which is a 3 to 12 times zoom. This is going to be a guide video. This is not a review. I have used the optic. I've killed pigs. Shot one right down there a couple nights ago, so there may be a review video coming out soon. But we're going to focus on all of the features, from the laser rangefinder and ballistic calculator to how to get the most out of the night vision. I'm going to pop up on the screen right now every little segment that we're going to cover. If you have a specific question, you can just skip straight to that segment. I'll timestamp the video down below for you. Stay tuned. Hope you all learned something. Let's go over the exterior of the optic first, just the big things, the main things, just to familiarize you with the optic itself. So over here on the left side, you've got a couple things. On the bottom here, you have your IR illuminator. Right above your IR illuminator is your rangefinder, which also brings in the ballistic calculator. On the back, you have the battery compartment, and you can unscrew this, and it is spring loaded. So when you get this cap off, I really like this, the battery pops out a little bit. So instead of having to turn the rifle up and shake it and try to knock the battery out, you can just grab it and pull it right out just like that. Down below, this is something I really like that's included with the optic. You have your optic mount. What I like about the mount is two things specifically. The first thing is, in two places, it's got the torque specs required for attaching the mount to your rifle and to the optic. I really like that. You don't have to dig through the manual or Google. The other thing I like is there are no scope rings. You mount it with 4 screws right down here. So from the factory, it's flush, it's level. You don't have to worry about rotating the optic, getting it perfectly right. Let's move over to the right side of the optic really quick. You've got a Picatinny rail where you can add a flashlight, add a red dot, add another illuminator if you really think you need one. Behind that, if you unscrew this cap, here, give me a second to put this cap back on. If you unscrew this little cap right back here, you've got a couple things. You've got a micro SD card right there for storage, and then behind that, you've got your USB-C port for charging. You've also got a charging indicator right behind that port right there. Up front, you've got a spring-loaded lens cap that just pops right open, just like that. I do want to note, it's important to keep this thing on the right side of your optic, because if you've got it over here, you're going to block your IR illuminator, you're going to block your rangefinder, it's going to cause you all sorts of issues. So just keep it on the right side. Move up a little bit, you've got your lens focus right here, very basic, very normal. Just rotate it, super easy to use. Let's skip the top for now, we're going to come back to this. Let's go to the back. Back here, you've got another focus. This one's your ocular focus, your screen focus, as I call it. This is what focuses on your reticle. It's what focuses on the numbers, the gadgets on the screen. Once you get that set, you don't need to move it again. Everything will stay in focus. Going to the top of the optic, you've got 5 buttons right on top, and you've got a button over here, as well as a wheel. We're going to dive more into the buttons later on. For now, I'm going to name them. The top one is the camera button. The right one is the brightness button. The left one is the mode button. This bottom center one right here is your settings button. And then down on the very bottom, obviously, that's going to be your power button. Over here is your laser rangefinder button. Again, we'll go more into depth about these buttons probably in the next segment and what their functions are. Last but not least, you've got your zoom adjust right here. It's just a little wheel. You just go left or right, and you can zoom up to 20 times with this model, up to 12 times with the other model. Before we jump into the buttons and what they do, let's talk about the battery and the battery life. DNT Optics says the battery life lasts about 8 hours using the battery that comes with it, which is a 3.2 amp hour 18650 battery. I've got an extra one, so 16 hours of runtime. I will say I've played with this optic for pushing 8 hours, and I've got about a quarter battery life left. I've been using the standby function, which we're going to talk about right now. Let's talk about the buttons on top and what each one does. The top button, whether you're in night vision or day vision, will do the exact same thing. It's the camera button. Short pressing it will turn on or activate your recoil activated recording if you've got it on in the settings. Long pressing it manually starts the recording automatically. On the right, that is your brightness button. Short pressing it brightens the screen for you up to 6 levels, so 1 through 6. Long pressing it will turn on or off the Wi-Fi, and it will notify you on screen whether or not that Wi-Fi has been turned on or off. Move down to the settings button right there. Short pressing it will change the reticle color on the screen. Long pressing it opens up the menu setting. Off to the left, we have the mode button. Short pressing it during daytime mode does nothing. Long pressing it will change you to night vision mode. While you're in night vision mode, if you short press the left button, that's going to adjust your IR illuminator brightness 5 levels. Moving down to the very bottom is your power button. Long holding it, if it's off, will turn the optic on. Long holding it, if it's on, will give you a countdown and turn the optic off. If it's on and you short press it, that'll put you in standby mode, which is indicated by a little orange light right above the power button. Rangefinder button. We'll talk about the rangefinder button when we get into the rangefinder section. Let's talk about the display, what I see when I look through the scope, what you would see when you look through the scope versus what you see when I record footage. So first, what I see is a whole bunch of indicators on the top right of the screen: battery life, microphone, Wi-Fi, micro SD card capacity, your Bluetooth, how zoomed you are and which ballistic profile you're on. Over on the top left of the screen, we've got the duration of this recording. On the very bottom right of the screen, it might not be visible because of the water, but we've got the time of day right down there. And then in the center, on the left and right, you've got your gyroscope telling you how tilted the optic is. When I record, everything is very basic. There's no clutter on the screen. I don't want y'all to think that looking through my hunting footage or other hunting footage on the internet, when you see this blank screen, I don't want you to think those tools are not there for you. They are there, they just don't show up in the recording. While we're on the topic of the display, there's 2 more things I want to show you. First is the zoom feature. So you just use that little wheel at the top of the optic going right or clockwise. If you turn it, will zoom you in 2.5 times at a time. So we're at 7.5 times now, 10 times, 12.5, 15, 17.5, and 20 times. To zoom back out, you just do the exact same thing, but go backwards. 2.5 times at a time. All the way down to 5 times. We'll go over the laser rangefinder a little bit later on, but I do want to touch on it right now and just show y'all what it looks like on the screen. To activate it, you just short press the laser rangefinder button and you'll have 2 things pop up on the screen. The first thing at the very top is you'll see a distance. The other thing that's very important is, and I'll put it right on those birds right now, there's a red reticle that you need to aim where you want to get that distance. So if I move my optic around, it's going to change constantly. There is a way to lock it in, and there is a way to use the ballistic calculator, but we're going to get to that on the rangefinder ballistic calculator portion. To open up the menu screen, you just long press the settings button and it will open up a screen that looks just like this right here with a whole bunch of different settings on it. We're going to go over each one of these settings individually. Depending on which setting that you've got open, these buttons will do different things. From the main screen though, if you press this bottom button here, the settings button, short press it, it will exit out of the menu screen. The left and a right will navigate from left to right, and the top one is a select button. So if you go to a setting such as the 0 and you short press the top button, you'll go into 0 mode. Once you're in the menu, again, you just navigate from left to right using that left and right button. There's a small gray square on each one telling you which one's selected. The top left one is the RAV, or the recoil activated recording. I personally have it off. You can turn it on auto, meaning that when you shoot it will automatically detect that you shot and start recording, or you can make it manual mode, meaning that you have to press a button to activate the auto recording. To the right of that is the ballistic calculator. We're gonna go through that later on. Same with the aiming method and the distance unit. That's going to be for the rangefinder, which we'll talk about momentarily. We're going to skip PIP and talk about that here in a second. You can turn Wi-Fi on or off. I keep it off to save battery. Same thing with Bluetooth, I keep it off. Zeroing your reticle we'll talk about in the one-shot zero. Date label, very, very self-explanatory. Enhanced color mode, you can either turn it off or on. You have natural color mode or enhanced color mode. I always keep it on enhanced color mode because why not? Recording audio, off or on. Loop recording, I keep off. You can do 1 minute, 3 minute, or 5 minutes. I believe that means after 5 minutes of recording, it loops back and deletes any of that footage that you've had before. I don't like that, but that would be great if you just want to turkey hunt or sit under a deer feeder and don't want to worry about remembering to record. You can just constantly record. You can turn your gyroscope on or off. You can auto power off if you leave the optic on for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes. I personally have it off because I walk around and hunt for a long time. And then you've got your basic system settings. To turn picture in picture on, go to your settings menu, go all the way to the top right. It says PIP. It's a white square with a little red rectangle on it. Select that, turn it on like so, and then go back to your main screen. What picture in picture does is you've got your regular screen, and then in the top center, you've got a zoomed in little section. What that's great for is you can scan fields, scan areas, or just stay zoomed out with your main screen or your main reticle, and then you've got a secondary reticle right there. So if that little plant right there, I wanted to shoot that, but I'm kind of zoomed out, I can just use the picture-in-picture screen to make a more precise shot. Let's go ahead and zero the optic using the one-shot zero function. First, hold down the settings button, the menu button, long press it to open up your menu, and then navigate right to the very middle there where it says zero reticle. Open that up. This is what it's going to look like. Down on the bottom, you have the important things are your x-axis and your y-axis. So find yourself a good target. I've got 2 pieces of tape on that green target right there. One right in the middle, and then one on the bottom right down there. Those are to simulate bullet impacts. So first, you're going to shoot right in the middle of your target. Bang! Let's pretend I shot. Well, I didn't hit in the middle, I hit down there to the right. That's no big deal. What you're going to do now is aim exactly where you were aiming when you pulled the trigger. So right up here, and then short press your power button. Short pressing the power button back here will freeze the screen. So if I short press it right there, I'm frozen on the target right there, and I can move the rifle around like this, but my optic stays exactly where I was aiming. Let's go ahead and get it centered right on that blue tape in the middle, and I'll come back. We are centered right on the middle blue tape. That's exactly where we shot. We've got the screen frozen. If you need to unfreeze the screen, just short press the power button again. You can keep repeating that until you get it perfect. It's very important to get it perfect. Now we're going to go over to our x-axis, which is our left to right, and we're going to move it right because we hit to the right. So just like that, that's about centered on that blue tape. Now we're going to go over to our y-axis, and we're going to move it down to that blue tape. Right about there. So that's exactly where we hit. The rifle is zeroed. Now we just have to save it. Down on the bottom it says long press the left key to save and exit. Long press the right key to exit without saving. We've got it zeroed, so we want to hold that left key to save and exit. And just like that, your rifle should be zeroed. Go ahead and take one extra shot just to make sure it's zeroed. And it's that simple. To change your reticle, just go back to the zero menu, go over to the right, just to the right of the y-axis, it says reticle. Right now it says reticle 0. There are 6 reticles to choose from 0 to 5. This is what reticle 0 looks like on screen. Reticle 1, reticle 2, reticle 3, reticle 4, and reticle 5. While you do have the option to change your reticle color in the 0 settings mode, it's simpler to just short press your settings button and change it on the main screen like so. You have red, yellow, black, which you can't see right now. Here, let me pop this sucker open. There you go. Black, white, green, and back to red. Just gonna have a quick segment of the IR, the night vision up real quick. There's a fence line about 120 yards probably. Let's range find it. 125 roughly. We're on setting 2 of the brightness. This will be 3, 4, 5, and then auto. I really like that auto brightness. Those cattails back there, let me focus on them, are 271 yards away. My reticle went off the screen for me because I've now got the scope mounted on a 22. Shooting rats out here. I just smoked a rat a second ago. I'll throw up some clips of raccoons and deer and a skunk and stuff like that I've been looking at night. We'll keep this segment relatively short. The night vision works really well. I was fumbling around in the dark and I almost just stepped on that guy. Skunk. I'll try to get a better angle of him. Oh, there you go. So whopping 22 yards away right now. I'm talking I nearly stepped on him. Let's go over the ballistic calculator and the rangefinder. First, we're going to go through the settings, set it up, and then we're going to actually put it to use and show you how well it works. So select your ballistic settings right there, your ballistic options, which is the second one over. You've got a couple different options through here. You have ballistic calculation, ballistic table, off, and ballistic data settings. The first thing you need to do is set up your ballistic data settings. Let's select that. A lot of this information is very basic, such as scope height, which is going to be the center of your bore to the center of your optic. I'll show you that here in a moment. But most of this you'll just find either on the box of ammo you're using or on the internet, such as the ballistic coefficient, your bullet length, and all that good stuff. Your scope height, your optic height, is going to be, again, center of the bore, so the center of where the bullet is, and the center of your optic. For this rifle, mount, and optic, it is perfectly 2.5 inches. Measure it yourself. It needs to be precise for it to work well. Once you've got your data entered, you just save and exit out of there by pressing the settings button, short pressing the settings button. You can save up to 5 different ballistic profiles, A, B, C, D, and E. Let's go back to the main menu now. And let's go over to aiming method, which is the third selection. There's 2 options, holdover or dial in. If you choose holdover, which I really like, a little green reticle is going to pop up for where you need to aim when you range find. The problem with that is, and as another user brought up in the Thermite video, if everything's green and you have a green reticle, it's difficult to see. The solution to that is choosing dial in instead. So I'm going to choose dial in because it's very green, and that's going to move your reticle exactly where you need to aim. Going over, we're going to change our distance. We're going to keep it on yards because this is the United States. Most of the world uses meters. Just choose whichever one works for you. Save out of that. And then last but not least, let's go back over to ballistic options, and we are going to go to ballistic calculation right there. We've got it selected in blue. We're going to save it. We're going to exit out of everything, and I'm going to show you how to use the rangefinder, and we're going to shoot some steel. I moved the target down about 150 yards or so. To use the rangefinder, it's all this button right here. A short press activates the rangefinder. A short press again locks the rangefinder on that position, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that here here in a moment. And to clear the rangefinder off of the screen, you just long press that rangefinder button. For now, we're gonna do this with the cap on because it's bright out here and I want y'all to be able to see everything. So I'm gonna short press that rangefinder button and you're gonna see a little red reticle kind of to the top left of that bigger red reticle up here. That is your range finding reticle. It's aiming at something 33 yards away. Let me move the rifle a little bit. Now we're aiming at something 37 yards away. It's going to continuously update and range find whatever it's aiming at. To lock it on to a specific range, you just short press that rangefinder button again. When you do that, and I'm about to do it, I want y'all to watch my red reticle. Let me aim at something further away so that y'all can really get the picture. We're ranging something 626 yards, 624 yards away right now. I'm gonna short press that button again and it's gonna lock on and it will automatically move my reticle down. Watch this. See how it jumps down like that? That's what we're gonna do on that green target that's hidden in the grass over there. Probably should have brought some red spray paint today, but that's okay. We're gonna move in-house onboard recording and finish out the rest of this. When you are range finding, it's important to be all the way zoomed out. If you're zoomed in a little bit, that little rangefinder reticle coming out of this is not going to be on the screen. So you need to range find and then zoom in. That's where the picture-in-picture really shines. That wind is really picking up. I guess we're going to test the mic and see how well it does in the wind here. Everything's very, very green. There are my green targets right there. Let's switch over to night vision mode real quick and see if that makes them stand out a little bit better. I would say it does make them stand out a little bit better. They're darker and easier for me to see. Let's go ahead and get a range on them. You're not going to be able to see the range finding reticle. Once I do lock it, you'll see a distance at the top of the screen though. All right, I got 148 yards. My reticle moved just a little bit. If I was using the holdover, because we're on dial in, so it automatically moves my reticle. If I was using the holdover option, it would put a little green reticle somewhere on my reticle, and I'll throw up a little screenshot of that right now. Well, let's see if we can get an impact. We zeroed at 50 yards. Let's zoom a little bit. Oh yeah, I don't know if y'all heard the gong hit. It's swinging though. It's very hard to see it swinging with the night vision. Let's switch back over to day vision real quick. Well, I forgot that the switching between night vision and day vision kills the recording, but you can see the gong swinging. I did shoot it. What the heck, I'll hit it one more time. Good enough. All right, let's back it up. Maybe 300-400 yards. Nothing too crazy. It's a little bit windy out. And let's see if we can't put some on steel. All right, 330 yards. I'm putting one round in the gun because they're about $3.50 each. Full disclosure, I took it out to 374 yards yesterday. Made a couple good shots, 2 in a row, and I stopped. I'll probably include that footage right now. Two in a row and about $7 of ammo down. But it was super calm out yesterday. No wind, so that was easy. 330 yards with gusting wind. I'm basically yelling into the optic right now, hoping y'all can hear me. Let's get it done. That's a hit. Look at that. Do I want to waste any more ammo? No, absolutely not. Man, that'll do. That'll definitely put the beat down on some pigs and some coyotes, y'all, especially with this round. Screaming 3,400, 3,500 feet per second of destruction. If y'all are looking for an affordable night vision optic that does it all, and I mean, it does it all, this guy right here is the one for you. There are 4 models. 2 of them include the rangefinder, the ballistic calculator. 2 of them do not. So you've got the 5 to 20 times model, which is the ZHD520, And then you've got the 3 to 12 times model, which is the ZHD 312. If they've got an R on the end of them, like this one does, this is the ZHD520R, that means they've got the rangefinder. Without the rangefinder, it's gonna run you about $400. With the rangefinder, pushes you up to about $600. Still a steal, an absolute deal. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If I've left any questions unanswered or I accidentally skipped over something, just let me know. I'll get back out in the field. I'll shoot some more footage, or I'll test it out myself and I'll get back to you. Ask me, I'll get you an answer. If you're interested in this optic, I'll leave a few links down below. I'll link you directly to the DNT website. I'll also link an Amazon link that kicks back a little money to me. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment. And guys, as always, I'll catch you next time. See you then. All right, 5 rounds on the steel. We'll max zoom in 20 times. Let's get one on the steel real quick, and then we'll aim at that one for the remaining 4. Oh, rushed that last one, didn't I? That's so fun.